Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Good. Up to anything new or exciting? Yeah, that's fair. Me neither. This is kind of crazy though. Someone has been leaving fish on my doorstep at my apartment.
Leaving
Which
leaving
fish?
what?
Fish like the
Why?
type that you like cook for dinner. I have
Yeah,
no clue.
I know.
It's like a weird prank, I guess. It's odd, but yeah, that's I guess my funny story. And I have no clue who's doing it, which is very odd. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see, are you I guess
I'm
Thanksgiving
sure
break
it's
is
not a cat.
I'm pretty sure because it's like in the plastic like wrap that you would get at the grocery store.
Hmm. So do you eat it or
No.
are you afraid it's poisoned?
Well, it could be poison. We just throw it away. It's definitely wasteful though. But
It's free fish. Like give it to your friend, see if they die. If they don't, you can eat it. If they do, well you lost a friend, but at least you didn't die.
I guess that's one way to do it. It's pretty funny. Okay. Are you ready to get started? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Hang in there. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
The semester is almost over. Oh, yes. Let's see that Skype again.
Semester did finish. We're on the third semester, third 6 weeks.
Oh, that's 6 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, for us, we don't do it like 6 weeks. We do a 14-week semester. So there's a fall semester that's 14 weeks, and then the spring that's 14. So it's a little different. I get confused sometimes. Okay, so last class we were working on writing this essay, and I thought today we could finish it up. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a recap of what we're writing about. So the question we're answering is how is the future of education illustrated in Isaac Asimov's The Fun They Had? And what does this warn us about today? And so we talked about three things. One is that education in the short story is at home, and that warns us that a lack of socialization causes problems. The second part of the story is they have a mechanical teacher, and that warns us that we need to learn culture in the classroom, not just knowledge. And then they also have faulty technology, which teaches us that technology or warns us that technology doesn't spot every mistake. So we already finished the introduction and the body paragraph 1 about socialization. So now we're on this body paragraph. So body paragraph about the mechanical teacher and the need to learn culture in the classroom. Is this coming back to you? You remember this for the most part?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Excuse me. Getting over a little bit of an allergy thing too. So whenever you're ready, if you just want to start writing your second body paragraph, which is about the mechanical teacher, shows us that we need to learn culture in the classroom.
The what? What?
So the mechanical teacher warns us
You're
that.
cutting out.
Oh, really? Can you hear me?
Hold up, it might be, it's probably me. I switched networks. Can you say it again now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're writing the second body paragraph. This paragraph is about the mechanical teacher and how the mechanical teacher shows us that we need to learn culture in the classroom and not just facts, right? Like we need to learn how to be human, basically. Like there's more to life than the math that the little girl's learning in the story. Got to learn about history and like government and like all sorts of different things. And, oh, language too. That would be another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so whenever you're ready, you can just start writing. Um, where you see class notes 11, 10th of November.
Okay.
Excuse me. So it looks like you have your topics in it so far. So the robotic teacher shows us that we need to learn how to be human, period. Okay, so now we want to maybe get a quote or an example of something that happens in the story to use as evidence. And if you want to go back and look at the story again, it should be linked up above, or I can put that link in the chat too if that's easier. Here, I'll just stick it in the chat just in case you need it.
Already. Oh, that's a Quizlet.
Yeah, here's the link in the chat.
I have the link already.
Okay,
It's in the doc, so.
You need any help finding a quote? You're still just looking.
Mm-mm.
Okay, let me know if I can help you out with anything.
Mario was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days.
Oh, that's the quote you want to use?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one too. Because I think that's also interesting, right? Because if you had a human teacher, the human could tell you how it was in the old days, right? Teachers are one way that we have knowledge spread from like one generation to another. But if you take out the human,
Mm-hmm.
that like intergenerational knowledge isn't there anymore. So that's a really good one. Nice. Oh, and don't forget to put the page number that you found it on in parentheses, kind of like you can see up above. Okay, very good. Nice job putting the period at the end. And then we want to change say to says, and then put a comma like that. And then that is a perfect quotation. Okay, so after that, you just want to explain what this quote means. Why is it significant? Hmm. Okay, maybe something interesting to talk about is why is a human teacher better than a mechanical teacher? So our first body paragraph, we talked about like why kids need to interact with other kids, but why do kids need to interact with like a real human teacher? What's the benefit of that?
Uh, Teachers can understand like sarcasm and stuff, and the teacher could help the kid with like learning stuff. Well,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
the teacher the teacher would be able to better teach the kid because it understand what the kid needed to learn and what exactly was wrong.
Yeah, perfect. So maybe if you want to write maybe let me look here, 2 or 3 sentences about that topic, I think that would be a good thing to add to your body paragraph.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm gonna run and go get some water real quick. I'll be right back. I don't know if you noticed, but my throat is a little sore
Okay.
today. Okay, got my water. Okay, so it looks like you added the 2 sentences. Very good. And so maybe if you want to add one more sentence, just kind of wrapping it up, connect back to the main idea. Okay, very good. So I'm just gonna do some quick revisions here. And then I'm going to move this down to the November 10th section. Okay. So the robotic teacher shows that we need to learn how to be human and that social interaction maybe between children and adults, between children and their teachers, is important. Okay, and then maybe instead of using the word shows, we can maybe do the robotic teacher illustrates or the robotic teacher emphasizes, just to put in some of those better like vocab words. Also, let me update the introduction real quick. So socialization with peers and teachers are needed in the classroom and technology. Okay. The robotic teacher illustrates that we need to learn how to be human and that social interaction between children and their teachers is an important maybe step in this process. For example, when it says, I would maybe say, we know the author's name, right? To do an Asimov, right? Okay, so for example, when Asimov writes, Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. Okay, he suggests that children who socialize, okay, enjoy school more than okay, so he has like this vision of children in the future who do school at home and are taught by robots, right? So you could maybe say he suggests that children who socialize enjoy school more than the potential students of the future who have school at home and are taught by robots. Okay, so I would say human teachers maybe are
Sorry, I
hesitant.
just noticed my mic was muted.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying? Did I interrupt you when you were speaking?
No, I was just saying sorry. I just noticed my mic was muted.
Okay. Do you have any questions about anything I've talked about so far? I'll take that as a no. No questions?
No, I
Okay.
think. Am I cutting out?
You're not cutting out. I just couldn't hear you earlier.
I was just saying I didn't notice my mic was muted. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Human teacher. Oh, and also like if you want to get my attention, like you feel like there's like technology issues, you can always put something in the chat too. For I don't know, even do. I don't know. Do we have reactions on this now? I think we have reactions. Yeah, you can always do a reaction too. That'll pop up on the screen. Okay, so human teachers are able to understand what kids need. Okay, I would maybe say instead of kids, say students. It's just a little bit more formal language. So human teachers are able to understand what students need and exactly what part maybe of the curriculum a child is stuck on while a robot would have trouble figuring uh, issues like that out. Just to avoid using the word things when we can be more specific we want to. Okay. So this is why social interaction uh, between human teachers and students and maybe and children are important. Okay, any questions about the edits there? Okay, not hearing any questions. So next we have body paragraph 3. So in this body paragraph, you want to talk about faulty technology and the idea that technology won't spot every mistake we make. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so whenever you're ready, just feel free to start writing down at the bottom of the page. I think it's like page 11 or something. Yeah, page 11, that's right. And I'll delete my stuff. Okay, so remember, we want to talk about the story that Isaac Asimov wrote and how it features faulty technology. So make sure you focus on that for your body paragraph. I know our pre-writing was a little bit long ago, so it might be hard to remember some of those details. But he writes about like not only this mechanical teacher, but this mechanical teacher that doesn't work. It has to be fixed. So that's warning us not to rely on technology too much. You know, it's never going to be perfect. Okay,
But
good,
neither are
nice.
humans.
That's true,
Technology is more reliable than humans
so that
in
is
some ways.
true. But in an essay like this, where we're focusing on like a short story or like a work of literature, we don't want to put too much of our own opinion in it. We just want to like document what the writer's opinion was and like what how we can figure out what the writer's opinion is through like quotes or figurative language and things like that. But if you were writing like a persuasive essay, then that would be a perfect topic. You know, what's more reliable, humans or machines, and why? And you know, you want to persuade your audience to go one way or another. Actually, maybe we'll do that for our next essay. That's a good idea. I like it. Okay, good. Now would be the perfect time for a quote. Or if you have a sentence that you're writing, feel free to write that sentence first, but you were just lost on what to do.
Just gonna write something, but I was just kind of dragging it on, so.
Mm. So if you're looking for a quote, let's see if I can help you find one here. Maybe at the beginning where it starts talking about the county inspector. So the mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. Or the part where it says, or he said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too quick. These things happen sometimes." I think either of those two would be a good sections to quote.
What? Can I put a comma?
Oh yeah, yeah, you can put a comma. In fact, you're supposed to put a comma. That's exactly right. Way to do it. Um, I guess typically like general advice for doing quotes, make them short when you can, and just treat them like any part of a sentence, you know? Don't let them affect the punctuation. So if you're going to have a comma beforehand, have a comma beforehand. If you feel like you need a comma after, then add a comma after. Just follow like the regular sentence rules. It's almost like the quote is not even there.
Usually it would tell you when something's wrong, though. So that's kind of their fault.
Oh, like the teacher in the story, the mechanical one.
Yeah,
Uh,
they should have made it, because technology can tell when it like has a virus, well, then not a virus, or something's wrong.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. I think part of the reason why the story reads a little bit differently than we would expect is I think it was written in, I want to say the mid 1900s, like maybe 1960. And so the idea that they have of like the future is very different than the idea we have of the future now. You know, they thought we were going to. Have you ever seen the movie Back to the Future?
Yeah.
They go to the year 2019 and they have like hoverboards and all sorts of stuff.
Hmm.
Like, and so we just have iPhones. That's our big technology. So it's interesting for sure.
We have jetpacks
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of other cool stuff.
Very true. The other movie I think about is oh, you probably, I don't know if you've seen this one, but Blade Runner. Blade Runner is like the same type of situation where uh, they made the movie in like the 1980s and the book was written before that, and like the plot happens in like 2019 or something. It's very odd.
Hmm. The mechanic dude, I don't know what he was. Inspector.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the county inspector. Which that's also kind of interesting, you know, just like how sometimes you have the principal or the superintendent come sit on your teacher's class. They have like this county inspector check up on the mechanical teacher. There's some like parallels between actual school and this technology they have set up.
There.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna have you do some revision before I do any revision. So my first bit of advice to you is we want to avoid contractions. So if you see any contractions, I'd get rid of them or change them to be something else. And then I would also get rid of words like we and things or stuff if you have any of those. So just like reread and then see if there's anything that you can fix and make better. Oh, and remember, you're on this bottom paragraph right here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, good.
I think that's good.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I'll go through and add a few more things. Okay. So the writer wrote his story. Okay. So I would maybe get rid of this phrase the writer wrote. We already know that a writer writes. Um so maybe like Asimov highlights that the mechanical teacher needs to be fixed. Or maybe instead of highlights, emphasizes that the mechanical teacher needs to be fixed to warn that technology is not always reliable. Okay. And we should not trick for getting rid of the word we can replace it with something like society. And society should not put too much trust into it because it could fail when people need it most. When the story says her grades were getting lower and lower. So I would maybe start out with a different transition. Maybe like technology fails. Do you remember the name of the little girl? I forget. Oh, Margie. Okay, so maybe technology fails Margie quite literally, right? Literally, she's failing. Technology fails Margie quite literally. Okay, her grades were getting lower and lower. Due to the maybe deteriorating robot. maybe instead of so, we could use as a result just to mix it up. You don't have to do something like this when you're writing, but I just want to show you a few different phrases. So as a result, I would say who they is. Margie's, I think it's her mother, right? Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can say Margie's mother, and then we always write present tense. So Margie's mother has to get a repair, has to get maybe the teacher repaired by an inspector. Okay, this shows, maybe instead of shows, we could do teaches. This teaches that technology is not always something we should put our faith in. Perfect. And especially good job on the quote for this one. Okay, any questions about this?
No.
Okay, so you have one last paragraph and then we finish the whole essay and that's the conclusion. So just to recap on the conclusion, we want to basically summarize our ideas, restate our thesis, and then end with either a reflection or a call to action at the end. I think when we've written these in the past, we've found that call to action is easier to write, so if you want to just do another call to action, that's fine by me. When if you want to hear the question again as you write the conclusion, or try to answer this question. So how is the future of education illustrated in Isaac Asimov's The Fun They Had? What does this warn us about today? Okay, is that your call to action there at the end?
Yeah.
Okay, pretty good. I like it. Okay, I'll do a few revisions. Okay. So in conclusion, instead of saying the stories, I would rename what the story was. So I'm going to be honest, I forgot what it was as I was reading. So it's good to remind your reader what you're actually talking about, the fun they had. So that's me. So in conclusion, the message of the fun they had, okay, by Isaac Asimov is that humans should not put all their trust into technology because it could lead to our demise. Maybe Asimov's view of education in the future lacks social interaction. Actually, I would maybe put this at the beginning. So Asimov's view of education in the future includes lack of social interaction and maybe ill-equipped mechanical teachers. Okay. maybe these details. I'm sorry, I just realized I want to change some more things up just to show you something. Okay, so these details maybe impart the message that humans should not put all their trust into technology because it can should not put all their trust in technology because it can lead to our demise. Keep it present tense. Okay, and then I would just get rid of the word "so" here. I would just get right to the call to action. So people should use their technology less and start relying on themselves. Okay. And if you want to, you can use the word "we" in your call to action. This is the one spot where it's appropriate to use it. So instead of saying people here, we could say we. So we should use our technology less and start relying on ourselves. Okay, any questions about that?
No.
Okay, I just want to show you how you can change around the order a little bit. So you can go into the details and then the message and then the call to action. It doesn't have to be like start out right away with this is my conclusion. You can kind of like recap a little bit first. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Then we have 9 minutes left, which I don't think is enough time to start new writing, but it is enough time to do some vocab if that sounds good to you. We'll see how much you remember from last week. And maybe this time when you see the word, you could try making a sentence with it. That might be a little way to just change it up. Oops, sorry, I accidentally showed that one. Oh, sorry, I gotta fix this. I'm trying to get it to show the term first. Sorry. Is that why it's not working? Okay, there we go. I think I finally got it. So what does the word inconsequential mean, and can you use it in a sentence?
It means no consequences.
Okay, good. And in a sentence?
In a sentence, it still means no consequences.
Oh, I mean, like, can you give an example sentence, like with the word in?
Blowing up the moon was inconsequential.
Okay. Yeah, maybe ironically or sarcastically. You could do that one. Okay, consecutive.
Like over and over or continuing.
Okay, yeah, one after another, right?
Yeah.
So how could he use consecutive in a sentence?
The dog consecutively kept licking me.
Okay, yep, perfect. Okay, execution. Oh, a little dark.
Murder.
Okay, yeah, but there's another form of execution too.
Yeah, but murder's more interesting.
Okay, what if I say perfect execution? What does that mean?
Means it was a perfect murder.
Or it was just perfectly done, right? So we could even have the phrase, that was a perfect execution of the execution. If you have an executioner who's just like really good at his job. Okay, I think I kind of gave the sentence away on that one. We'll go to the next one. So a courier.
A courier, a
Mm-hmm.
messenger.
Yep, very good. And then in a sentence.
My pigeon is a courier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, incur.
Incurred means like questioning, kind of asking.
Kind of. It's almost more like an answer. So incur is to bring about. And so like think of like a effect, or sorry, not an effect. Think of like a cause that leads to an effect. So, mm,
I incur that cats are better than fish.
okay, yeah. You can also like incur a debt, maybe, or like if you like don't pay off your bills, so not paying off your bills brings about that debt, something like that. Okay, recurrent.
Keeps happening.
Very good. Then in a sentence.
The um people are recurrent.
Okay, yeah. A lot of times we hear like recurrent dreams or something like that.
Hmm.
Okay, gradualism.
Slowly doing something like gradually, slowly upping to something or down to something.
Yep. So anything that involves taking like slow, measured actions.
He gradually made his way to the execution block.
Okay. Regress.
That means like uh going back, backing out.
Yeah. So when you regress, that means you go back. Um, and it's usually negative, right? So it
I
says to
just
lessen.
kind of, I guessed that one.
Oh, you did a good job. Yeah, a lot of these have like Latin and Greek roots. So if you know a word that has like a similar definition, you can kind of guess them. But yeah, a lot of times you'll hear like regression. So regression is like, let's say you're an adult and like you have a traumatic event, and so you start acting kind of childlike. So that's a regression because of like trauma that you went through. But yeah, you can also like regress just like in general from something like positive to something bad. Any questions about that one?
No,
Okay. Digress. This one is, I'm sure you've heard before. I do this all the time.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said I do this all the time. Digress.
Um, Disagreeing.
Kind of to get off topic, to kind of like ramble a little bit, to just keep talking and talking and talking. So when someone says I digress, that means that they kind of like they lost the main thread of their story and they're just kind of talking nonsense at that point. Okay. Amble.
Um, like doing something well. He was very amble with his steps.
So the word that you're thinking about is ample with a P. We want to do amble with a B.
Um,
Here, I'll show you the definition for this one. So this is like walk. So it'll be like you amble around the house, like you walk around the house or around the mall or somewhere. So ample is something that is like good or enough, and then amble is to walk.
mhm.
Okay. Do you remember when we talked about the word ambulatory last time we had class?
No.
So I said this is a good way to remember amble. So the ambulatory is like the part of a cathedral. If you've ever gone to see like a really cool cathedral, like on vacation or something, where you just like walk around it, and it was put there for like the priests and like the people who went to church to kind of like reflect why they walk. But yeah, ambulatory, amble, think walk. Oh, and look, here we go. Spoiled it again. So ambulatory, you know what this one is. Able to walk. And so
Mm-hmm.
in architecture, it's like literally the part of the building where you can like walk through it. Okay, last one, preamble.
That's the part of the that's like something to do with the Constitution.
Uh-huh, yep. Very good. It's the part of the Constitution that introduces basically the idea that, why we have it in the first place, that we have rights and we want to protect them.
Yeah.
So that is it for class today. I guess for homework, I don't know. Do you have a lot of homework in class right now?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take a break this week then, and we'll just say no homework.
All right.
We made pretty good progress on that essay. I want to assign you just something random. Okay, sweet. Any questions for me before I go?
No.
Okay, then I'll let you go. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.